Hey, Team Avatar, this is Captain Yeet here for you from the Avatar Last Airbender episode review. This is going to be Avatar Last Airbender Season 1, Episode 14, titled The Fortuneteller Redo, Book 1, Water. So, let's get into it. So, the beginning of the episode starts off with a theme song. It also starts off with a few different clips from different episodes, specifically Aang and Katara moments. What's the ship name for Katara and Aang? I don't really look that up. I don't know. It either has to be Angara or Gara Yang. I think I said Garang. I don't know. I gotta look that up. What's the ship name for Qatar and Aang? I never really thought about that. But the actual episode starts off with Team Avatar sitting down next to a lake. While they're sitting down, this random fish jumps out the water and he jumps back in. And he keeps doing that. Now Sokka's saying, oh, he's taunting us. So he grabs his fishing rod, but the line on the fishing rod is gone. He goes, where is it? Aang turned it into a necklace for Qatar because he goes, well, Qatar, you lost your old one. I thought it'd be nice so you can have this new one. And Sokka doesn't really care about that. He just wants that fish. So he jumps into the water to grab with his bare hands while Aang gives Katara the necklace. And when he does that, Katara puts it on. She says, how do I look? I mean, I'm not saying you can't say that, but it is just a necklace. It's not like a whole dress. But she says, how do I look? So when Aang turns around to see it, he goes, wow. I mean, you want me to say how you look with just your neck or your whole body? Because you look amazing. Sokka hears this because he's not too far away from them. He goes, "Uh-oh, somebody's in love." Oh, if I was Aang in this next moment, I'll be sick to my stomach. So Katara says, "Hey, Sokka, stop teasing him. Aang's just a good friend, like Momo." Oh my goodness. I mean, I know, like the girl you like just says you're a good friend. That's gonna make you sick to your stomach. But as he compares you to being equal as an animal, obviously he's not saying Aang is like an animal, but you're a good friend just like this animal. Oh my goodness, yo. I'll be sick to my stomach. Be sick to my stomach. Egg looks so sad, like, oh, yay. Thanks, Qatar. That's what I needed right now. Thank you, man. I love you for saying that. Anyway, as soon as that happens, they hear a bunch of commotion off to the side. They run over to it, and it's this man getting attacked by a platypus bear. And just like the name, it's a giant bear with the features of a platypus. Yeah, I mean, we already noticed that in this world, there's a bunch of different weird combinations of animals. But while he's getting attacked, he's dodging this platypus bear pretty easily. Like every time it swings at him or sort of bites him, he's able to dodge and weave out the attacks. Now Team Avatar runs over to him and yelling at him to do different stuff. To specifically run in a zigzag, punch it in the stomach, play dead, all this different stuff. Now the dude, well the old man, yeah, I just call it old man. The old man is keep telling them, hey, everything is going to be fine. Eventually, oh yeah, actually, let me show what the platypus bear looks like. Kind of a cool design. The platypus bear does kind of come into play later on in this series in a funny way. Not like physically, but if you guys know, if you know with Azula and Toph, that comes into play later on, which is kind of funny. Now, not like in a big way, but it's a really funny joke. Anyway, eventually Aang, he jumps up in the middle to try to fight the platypus bear, and then Appa scares the platypus bear by yelling at it, and it scares it so much to where, well, not yelling, what's the word, roaring at it, and it scares the platypus bear so much it lays an egg and runs away, and Sokka goes, ooh, dinner, and grabs the egg. Now the man says, thank you for your help, but I knew that I'll be okay because of Aunt Wu's fortune. Who was Aunt Wu? Aunt Wu is a fortune teller in his village, and she said that he'll have a peaceful travel on his travels. Sokka's like, what? Well, see what's wrong. You just got attacked by a platypus bear. He goes, yes, but look at me. I'm completely fine. So I guess I'll see you guys. Also, before I leave, she told me to give any travelers this. Aang opens it up, and it's an umbrella. Now, Sokka's not believing in this whole mumbo jumbo fortune teller thing, but Katara goes, hey, this sounds kind of interesting. Maybe we should go to the village with him. Here's a really cool shot of Aang. Before he even did anything with his airbending, that's when Appa popped up and scared the platypus bear. You know, like this one shot, he was about to go crazy. He was definitely about to go crazy on that platypus bear. That would be really cool. Let me turn it back around. And so they all start to walk towards the. Oh yeah, the old man does mention that look at me, I'm fine. So Aunt Wu was right. Anyway, they all start to walk towards the village, and it starts to rain. And so they're like, "See, Aunt Wu knew it was going to rain. That's why he gave her the umbrella." Sokka's not believing this. I mean, it's been cloudy all day. Of course, it was going to rain. And they're not letting him underneath the umbrella until he admits Aunt Wu was right. But he goes, "Look at this. I'm a fortune teller too. It's going to keep raining." Literally like clockwork. As soon as he says that, it instantly stops raining and it's sunny. It's sunny outside. So they keep it moving. Eventually, they walk over to the village. They walk inside of the fortune teller palace, and then they meet Aunt Wu's assistant, Ming. Now, whenever Ming walks up to the group and says, introduce herself, like, hey, I'm Ming, she looks at Aang and she falls in love. That scene I showed you earlier with Qatar, of all the sparkles around her, that literally happens to Ming looking at Aang, where she sees all the sparkles around Aang, but he's like hunched over, looking to the side. She goes, hey, how are you? I'm good. Like, not paying her no mind. You're not guitar? Nothing, boy. But yeah, this is what Mang looks like. A little cute design. I like her really like big hair. I don't know what you call them. I guess like twist or pony. No, I guess you don't really call them ponytail. Well, her hair, how they point outwards. I like that. It's really cute. But yeah, she's looking at Aang and she just falls in love instantly. So when everybody sits down, she goes, "Hey, can I offer you guys some tea? Maybe some biscuits or something?" Sokka goes, "Oh yeah, biscuits would be." Hey, I'm talking to him right now. So what's your name? Oh, I'm Aang. Aang? Oh my goodness, that rhymes with May. Uh, I guess. You have some really big ears, don't you? I guess so. Sokka goes, come on, Aang, don't be modest. They're huge, like an elephant. So eventually she walks off like with the tea and stuff. And while they're waiting, I mean, not see, but Sokka's just doing the whole, classic mean and green. He doesn't really believe in the mumbo jumbo guitar. She's the main one, like super excited for this. She's like, I can't wait to have my fortune read. Then, actually, before I continue, let me make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself. I hate when I do that. I'll bring up like, and this character dies, and wait a second. Oh, never mind. I'm supposed to say this now. Like I hate when I get ahead of myself. Okay, yeah, yeah. While they're waiting, Ming walks over to this other lady that just got her fortune read, and the lady says that Aunt May just said that her fortune is that her lover or her true love is going to give her a panda lily, a rare flower in their village. Ming goes, "Oh wow, that's so romantic." The lady looks to the side and she goes, "Hey, is that the big ear boy Aunt May predicted that you'll marry?" And she goes, "Shh." So that's why she was bringing up Aang's ears because he has big ears. I mean, kinda. I didn't really notice that before, but yeah, I guess he does kind of have really big ears. Anyway, when Maine comes back over with the tea and biscuit, she trips and Aang helps her not fall, and then they both look at each other, and she's the only one that blushes. And then eventually Aunt May comes out. She goes, "So, who gonna get their fortune read?" And Qatar is the first one up. Now, while she goes over, actually, let me okay, I'm trying to get a good shot of the lady and May. Okay, here's the lady that was talking about uh, Panda Lily. Here's the lady that was talking about the Panda Lily and the fortune with Ming. Is it? I keep thinking it was Ming because it's spelled. And when I put the subtitles on, it was Meng. I thought it was Ming like Ming, but no, it's Ming. It's kind of weird. But she comes out and Qatar is the first one. So Aang goes, "So what do you think they're talking about?" Sokka goes, probably love, how many kids he's gonna have. Love? Kids? I need to use the bathroom. So Aang gets up and walks away. Then when he does that, he sneaks over to the fortune teller room and puts his ear on the door, is listening in. That's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I understand that Aang likes Qatar. Sokka just said they're probably gonna talk about love, and when he goes over to the door, they are talking about love. But still, you're peeping in on someone else's fortune, the girl you like. That's kind of wild, Aang. I don't know who would have done that. But while they're talking, Aunt May specifically says that in Qatar's future, she's going to marry a very powerful bender. And Aang gets very, very happy because, I mean, hey, he doesn't want to brag, but he's the Avatar. That's a pretty powerful bender if I've ever seen one. So he's like strutting around the facility and he goes back to Sokka. Sokka goes, "So, you had a good bathroom trip?" The bathroom. Oh, yeah, yeah, right. The bathroom. I just had to, I don't want to hear that. And so Aunt May comes back, says, "Who's next?" Sokka gets up, and she goes, "You're gonna have a lot of trial and strife in your life. Most of it self-inflicted." Sokka's like, "What? You didn't even read my palm or anything like that." "I don't have to. I can read it all over your face." So then she grabs Aang and brings him into the back, which is it's kind of sad. I'm not gonna lie. There's gonna be so much heartache and strife in his life, just self-inflicted. She didn't even need to read anything. She just see it on his face. That's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie. He was angry face whenever he heard the fortune from Qatar. Really? Okay. He knew he was in there. He knew he was in there. Anyway, when Aunt May brings Aang to the bank to read his fortune, the way she specifically does it is that she has a huge pile of bones off to the side. You grab a bone, she grabs it and throws it into a little fire she has going. Now, whenever the bone goes into the fire, the bone will start to crack, and she reads the cracks into the future. So when Aang picks up a bone, throws it into the fire, a gigantic crack basically splits the whole bone in half. Then eventually the whole bone blows up and it just splatters all over the walls into splinters. And on May, she starts to go crazy. Wait, I think it's on Wu. Oh my goodness, have I been saying it wrong? Now let me pause it. I think it's on Wu. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it is Aunt Wu. Thank goodness I caught it. I mean, I am 9 minutes in. So, wait, 10 minutes in? Okay, no, I mean, that's still a good time. I'm 10 minutes in, so I didn't catch it immediately, but hey, at least I caught it early. At least I caught it somewhat early, thank goodness. So, Aunt Wu, she looks at the cracks in the bones, or what's left of the bone, and she starts to freak out. She goes, "Oh my goodness, your future. I never seen this before. Your future is super duper great. You're going to be in a huge battle of between good and evil, and depending on how this battle ends, is going to shape the destiny of the entire world." And goes, whoop de doo, yay! I already knew this. Like, I just learned about this 2 weeks ago. I mean, yay, yeah. But anyway, hey, what about my love life? She goes, love life? Yeah, who'd I marry? What's my love life? She goes, I don't really see anything about love. Aang starts to look really sad. Then she goes, you know what? I forgot about this one piece of bone way over here. It says that if you follow your heart, you'll marry the one that you love. Aang is really happy. Then obviously you can tell she was just making that up because Aang was looking sad. I don't know if I'll do that because you are a fortune teller. People are going to believe everything you say. I won't really make that up. I mean, I don't know what's the. I mean, I don't know how to do this, but I mean, couldn't you just read his fortune again, but specifically look for love since you already saw the bigger destiny this time? Or is he just gonna say the same thing? I don't know, but I wouldn't just make that up. You know, I mean, that's kind of exact. I wouldn't just make that up. But after that, Aang, Katara, and Sokka walk out of the fortune teller place. Everybody's really happy about their fortune. Sokka doesn't really believe this whole mumbo jumbo. He kicks a rock, it ricochets off a sign, hits him in the head. Then they walk out to the town square and everybody's looking at the clouds and they specifically want to wait for Aunt Wu's prediction this year, specifically for the volcano. There's a volcano off to the side and there used to be a tradition to where somebody would go up to the volcano every year and look at it to see if it's going to erupt. But ever since Aunt Wu come, they got away with that tradition, and Wu does a prediction with her fortune to see if the volcano is going to erupt. Sokka's like, "What? Are y'all smoking? Y'all should still send somebody up there every year." But Aunt Wu has never been wrong, so we don't have to. And they're also Aunt Wu's also going to raid the clouds for other stuff. We do get this really funny scene to where when Aunt Wu starts to walk out at first, not Wang, sorry, Meng, she rocks out and she goes, "Hey, Aang, doesn't that cloud kind of looks like a flower?" And goes, I guess. Hey, guitar, doesn't that cloud look like a flower? Shh, hey, Aunt Wu's about to talk. That's crazy. Taking her stuff. That's wild. You don't have to be so mean about it. Ain't like, I guess. Hey, guitar, like, that is crazy. Egg is a wild one, boy. That was kind of jacked up. Not gonna lie. But Aunt Wu comes out. She starts to read. She has a specific book she does to read the clouds, and she reads the clouds, and she specifically says, "Okay, well that cloud means we're gonna have good crops this year. This cloud means the volcano is not gonna destroy the village this year, and this cloud means it's gonna be a really good year for twins." Now, even as a kid, this scene kind of confused me. Not confused me, but whenever she specifically says this is gonna be a good year for twins, I just always assumed that okay, that means if you're pregnant you're probably gonna have twins. You get what I'm saying? But once he says that, and we see these twins off to the side, and they high five each other like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a good year for us." Which, I mean, technically, that's not wrong. I mean, it's gonna be a good year for twins. Your twins, it can be a good year for them. So, and then it still can work. But I just always thought, wait, wouldn't that just mean you have twins this year? But I mean, it's not nothing too serious. I was just thinking about it too deeply. But yeah, after that, we go over to Qatar, and she walks back over to Aunt Wu's house. Well, I don't know if this is like her house, but at least her workplace. And she goes, "Hey, Aunt Wu, I want another prediction from you about who I'm gonna marry. Is he handsome? Is he tall?" She goes, "Oh, you want another prediction? I do, I do." All right, come on in. Anything for a customer. And we find this out later on in the episode, but she doesn't charge for this kind of stuff at all, which is somewhat kind of wild because he does this like all day, every day, all the time. But other part of me is like, well, I mean, people want to know their future and how they're gonna, probably die or fall in love and stuff. And it's kind of nice he doesn't charge anything because that's a really nice thing for her to do just for free all day. Now, obviously, probably she has breaks, throughout the day. She's not doing this 24/7, but still, that's a really nice thing for her to do. Here's Qatar's face when she got really happy, like, yes, all my fortune read. It's like she is obsessed with this junk. I don't know why, but she is like super duper obsessed with it. It would have been kind of cool if they would have played in her backstory to why she's obsessed with this, because she had a pretty sad backstory with her mom dying, her dad having to go off to war. So it would have been kind of cool if they like tied it in to where somebody would have been like, why are you so obsessed with knowing your future? Because it would have been kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like someone would have asked her that, and then she would have said, "Well, I'm obsessed with it because I want to know exactly what's going to happen to make sure I don't have any more sad stuff happen to me, or if I know when the bad stuff comes this time, like the stuff from her past, she can know how to get rid of it or know how to handle it." You get what I'm saying? Like, it would be kind of cool if they played that in here because it's kind of random that she's like so obsessed with it. Not saying you can't be obsessed with your future, obviously everybody is, but y'all get what I'm saying though, right? It would be kind of cool. So then we go over to Aang and Sokka walking around the village, and Sokka wants to disprove Aunt Wu's predictions. So he walks up to a guy and goes, "Hey, what did Aunt Wu tell you?" He goes, "Oh, Aunt Wu told me that I'll find my true love as long as I'm wearing my red suits." And Sokka goes, "Okay, well, how long have you been wearing them?" "Every day." "Well, of course you're gonna find your love. You wear them every day. I know, right?" And then he just walks away. And then Sokka kicks a rock and it flies over. Like kicks a rock and it flies over to a goose, and the goose attacks them. We go back over to Aunt Wu and Qatar, and Aunt Wu told Qatar basically her whole life. Like, see, look, when we go back over, she goes, "And you're gonna die in your sleep after you have your third great grandchild." Then Qatar goes, "Oh, thank you. Actually, hey, one more thing. How warmly should I dress tomorrow? You want me to read that?" And Qatar goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." Like, she's like super excited. About her fortune being read about what clothes should she wear tomorrow. Like, she is obsessed, boy. Look at her face. She is obsessed about this junk. Let me go back over to Sokka and Aang. Let me just make sure I got this right. Something popped up on my screen. I can't really see it too well. But we go back over to them. Sokka yells at a guy that hasn't taken a bath in maybe a couple months because of Aunt Wu. And Aang goes, "Hey, Sokka, you're a ladies' man, right? Can you help me with some love problems?" "A love problem? You came to the right place. What can I do you for?" "Well, there's this girl. I think I know who you mean." Now, there's a little bit of miscommunication going on right now because Aang, he's talking about Katara, obviously, but Mang sees hiding in the background watching them, and Sokka sees this, so he's thinking that Aang is talking about Mang. So he goes, "So what should I do? I really like this girl." "Okay, okay. What you have to do is stop being too nice. Nice guys always be too nice. You need to act aloof. Act like you don't care about her. Then she'll fall head over heels for you." "Really?" "Yes, that's perfect thing to do." So as soon as that happens, Mang comes up and goes, "Hey, Aang." "Oh, okay, Sokka, bye." He just walks away like he didn't even hear her. Wow, this kid is good. So then we go over to Aang trying to act aloof around Qatar. It's not really working. As soon as Qatar gets kicked out, Goose walks over. No, sorry. As soon as Qatar gets kicked out of the Fortuneteller house, he goes, "Hey, Qatar." "Oh, hey, Aang." Okay. So he runs over to her and she grabs a papaya. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's right. When she gets kicked out of the fortune teller place, she asks Aunt Wu one last time, "What should I eat for breakfast? A mango or a papaya?" She says a papaya, and she goes, "Oh, that sucks. I hate papaya." I was like, then why would that even be one of your two options? I mean, if she would have said two completely different foods and then she would have said papaya, then okay. But if you hate papaya, why would you make papaya one of the two options if you just really wanted a mango? I wouldn't even say papaya if I hated papaya. But anyway, she goes over to buy a papaya. When she does that, Aang goes, so, a papaya. Yeah. Do you want some? Nah, you know me. I don't care what I eat. Okay, and walks off. Aang goes, you know what? I don't know if this whole aloof thing is my kind of style. Which, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, I kind of get what Sokka's trying to say, but yeah, this whole aloof thing, it's not really Aang's style. But as soon as Aang says that, that girl from earlier that said that Wu said her true love is going to give her a panda lily, that happens right in front of Aang. So Aang goes, hey, we're going to get one of those. And to get a panda lily, you have to go to the top of the volcano. So while Aang and Sokka is climbing up the volcano, Sokka goes, are you serious? We're walking up this volcano to get a panda lily because of Aunt Wu. I don't tell me you believe in that stuff. I mean, Aunt Wu have been wrong before, so I mean, we should get this panda lily. So he's climbing up the volcano. He gets a panda lily, but inside the volcano, there's a ton of lava boiling up. Aunt Wu was wrong. So they rush back down to the village. They're telling Katara about the volcano about to erupt any second. Obviously, Katara is assuming that Sokka is just saying that because, well, it's Sokka. He's been on Aunt Wu the whole episode. But Aang goes, no, no, he's right. And the volcano, it doesn't erupt, but it's starting to. So the whole ground starts to shake. So they're like, okay, this is pretty bad. We have to run over to the village and warn them. Now, we don't get this one funny scene to where as soon as they start to talk to Katara, Katara goes, can you believe this? They kicked me out of the Fortune house after all the business I gave her. Katara, she doesn't charge anything. I know, but you know, I want my fortune read. So they go over to the town square. They try to explain to everybody that, hey, the volcano's going to erupt. Now, at first, nobody really believes them because, like Sokka, he's been on Wu's case the whole episode, but then Aang Guitar have to explain, like, no, it's true. Then the ground starts to shake again because of the volcano. And then there's smoke coming out of the volcano. Now, this is the one scene where I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb. So when the volcano starts to erupt a little bit, the ground shakes. They see the smoke coming out. They go, it's whatever. It's going to be fine, and walk away. I'm like, okay, this is kind of dumb. Now I understand Aunt Wu's predictions have been right all the time, but even so, you see a volcano shaking the ground and the smoke coming out. There's not even a little bit of concern. I mean, I know it's Aunt Wu, but nobody's like a little nervous or anything. They're like, yeah, whatever. Like, what? And everybody was like, they kept specifically saying the volcano's not going to erupt. Then they see the smoke, like, what? Like, come on. Nobody. Everybody's like, whatever. Like, they don't really care at all. They just have to walk away. So the Aang, Katara, and Sokka like, okay, what are we gonna do? We need to figure out some sort of thing to make these people believe the volcano is going to erupt and kill everybody. So they're thinking, okay, how about Aunt Wu? If Aunt Wu said it, then they'll believe it, right? So let's go get her cloud book and see what Pacific Cloud we have to make to get on. I mean, yeah, we have to get our cloud book to see what Pacific Cloud we have to make to get everybody to believe us. So Aang sneaks inside of Aunt Wu's house. He's snooping around for the book, and then he runs into Ming. And Ming says, "You don't like me, do you?" This is such a sad scene, man. But she goes, "You don't like me, do you?" Aang goes, "What? Of course I like you." Yeah, but not in the way that I like you. Oh, no, no, I guess not. I can sorry. It's kind of a sad. I mean, it's a little happy ending, but it's kind of a sad scene. So she goes, "Yeah, I know. It just sucks because you liking someone that doesn't like you back. It kind of hurts." And goes, "Yeah, I know. I know how you feel." She goes, "She's beautiful, you know." What do you mean? The Water Tribe girl. She's beautiful. I understand why you like her. I mean, she's cute. She's kind. She has beautiful hair that's manageable. And then Aang goes, "Hey, I'm sure that someone's going to come around and love you for the way that you are." And I'm like, that was sweet. Well, he doesn't say that. He said, I'm sure that someone's going to come around and fall madly in love with you. And she says, thank you. But, if I was angry, I would have been like, someone's going to come around and fall in love with you and love you for you. Because he brought up about how, like, her hair is so unmanageable, but, Katara's hair is manageable. I was like, someone's going to come around and love you for you. That would have been a really sweet thing for Aang to say, but still, it's sweet. And Meng, I mean, we don't really see Meng for the rest of the series. I'm pretty sure she's just in this one episode. She was a really kind and sweet girl with a really cute design. I wouldn't really mind if her and Aang got together because she's really nice. Obviously, I'm more on Katara and Aang, but still, she's a really nice girl. Anyway, when Aang starts to walk away, she goes, "Hey, wait, Aang, don't you want this?" And gives him the book. He goes, "Yeah, I need this, but how did you know I needed this?" Well, I kind of been stalking you all day. Oh, all right. Okay, I guess I'll see you around. So Hank walks down. Him and Guitar get on top of Appa. They start to manipulate the clouds because the clouds are air, and they specifically make the skull. Yes, basically it's the skull cloud that indicates the volcano is going to erupt. Everybody sees that, even on Wu. They start to freak out. And so here's the plan. They're gonna dig a gigantic moat that's gonna lead to the river. So then whenever the lava comes down, it's gonna go into the moat and flow into the river. So if you're an earthbender, come with me. Those twins from earlier, one twin goes, I'm an earthbender. The other twin, I'm not. That's kind of funny because that's literally the next avatar. They're twins, and one's the earthbender slash the avatar, and one's not. I don't know if the other twin is a non-bender or if they're earthbender too. But anyway, they start to dig the moat with shovels and earthbenders. Eventually, the volcano fully erupts. The lava's coming down. Everybody runs away. And at first, it was working a little bit. The lava was going into the moat, but eventually it's just too much lava. It's going to overflow and go into the village. So Katara and Sokka, they start to run away. Aang, he stands his ground. He doesn't move. He jumps into the air, gathers a bunch of air, and then it's. I'm sorry, that just sounds kind of funny to me. He jumps into the air and gathers a bunch of air. I mean, yeah, you know, obviously it's airbending in this show, but it's just kind of funny when I say that. But he grabs a bunch of air and soaks it down at the lava to push it back. Then, whenever he jumps down on his feet, he sucks in a ton of air into his belly and soaks it out. And when he does that, it rapidly cools the lava instantly and turns it into rock. And then Sokka goes, "Wow, sometimes I forget just how powerful a bender that kid is." Katara goes, "What? Nothing. Just that that kid is a really powerful bender." Huh. I I guess he is. Obviously thinking about what Wu said earlier. Here's a really cool scene with Aang. Like it's kind of crazy too, because I mean, using this with air, it can work. Obviously, you would probably think to use water, but you know, it can work rapidly cooling it with air, especially how much air Aang just used in this one moment. It was a really cool scene where whoa, that was pretty dope. That was pretty cool. I like the way he did that. So then, at the very end of the episode, we see Aang, Katara, and Sokka saying bye to everybody. And then Aang goes over to Aunt Wu, and he goes, "So, tell me something. You didn't really see love in my future, did you? You just told me what I wanted to hear." She goes, "Listen, young Avatar, just how you were able to change the clouds and the fortune of what was going to happen, you can change what's going to happen in your own destiny too, and find the one you love." That's really good. Sokka goes over to everybody. He goes, "Okay, now I'm not saying you can't listen to your fortunes anymore, but maybe you shouldn't rely on them too much because as you saw, the volcano is still erupted." The old man from earlier says, "Well, Aunt Wu said the volcano would destroy the village this year, and the village isn't destroyed. I hate you." Which I mean, technically, yeah, and technically, she didn't say it wasn't going to erupt. She said it just wasn't going to be destroyed. So, I mean, technically is right, but still be cautious. But you know, technically she is kind of right though. So anyway, when they get on top of Appa to leave, specifically Ming, she's like waving everybody, saying bye, and she says bye to Katara, and then she goes bye, see ya. So as soon as Katara turns around for Appa, floozy. That was funny. What does floozy mean? Does that mean the H word with girls? I don't know what floozy means, but I know it's supposed to be an insult, obviously. I guess he's. That was funny. Bye, Bluesy. He is funny. Then we get the credits. But that's the episode for you guys today. So, like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you all later. Thank you all for watching. I think a lot of them be one million beings, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. I'm not gonna lie. I can see it. It's blurry. It's a little blurry on the screen a little bit. Let me fix that before I end it. All right. Bye.